Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Otafest podcast. Otafest 2024 is happening. It's coming. Oh my gosh. And the early bird price is $63.93 right now. And it'll get you access to everything at Otafest, including the exhibitor hall, concerts, panels, events, and guest spotlights, and so much more for everything from Friday to Sunday. So please go get your tickets now at otafest.com.
It's still an early bird price. It can go up. It will go up.
The early bird is a worm. Would you still love me if I were a worm?
Would you still go to Otafest if it were a worm?
Would you fertilize my yard if you were a worm?
No.
Would you cosplay a worm?
No.
Would you? Hello, my name is Nancy, and I'm here with Angelo and Jay.
There's a non-zero chance that someone will cosplay Iron Mouse Worm.
Oh my gosh. I didn't think of that. That's not a thing I thought of until now.
I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't need to know that was a thing, but here we are.
Here we are. And now
We're
we know.
We're learning all sorts of things.
This is the podcast where you get all kinds of cursed knowledge.
And this time, all three of us are here. It's been like 2 weeks.
Since the last time I talked to you both. It's true.
Yeah.
And we're just in time for Valentine's Day.
Yes, it's a
Singles Awareness
Day. Make sure to treat that special someone in your life. And it's really common. It's an especially common theme. Every year that people are like, "Nah, I am single. There is no special someone in my life."
That special someone could be you.
Exactly. Go get yourself like a chocolate bar. Or if you don't like chocolate, get yourself a case of craft beer. Or if you don't like craft beer, maybe look at something on the Steam sale. Have a good time.
There's a Valentine's Steam sale?
I'm pretty sure there actually is.
Oh.
There's a Lunar New Year one happening, so probably overlaps.
I mean, there's always something on sale on Steam.
That is true.
Check out your wish list. Something is discounted.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Not a sponsor.
I feel like Gaben doesn't need sponsors anymore. People just shill Steam for him at this point.
True. I'm looking at my wish list right now.
Jay is checking out some things he may want to treat himself with. Excellent.
Yeah.
I fully endorse this behavior.
No, I don't.
Go treat yourself to something.
I'm already playing too many games as is.
That's fair.
Yeah.
For me and Dio, because Valentine's Day is happening on a Wednesday, it's not the most convenient day for us. So we actually did all our Valentine's Day on the 10th, on the Saturday. And it was great.
Nice. Very nice. What'd you get up to?
We had a nice little shopping date.
Imagine participating in consumerism and capitalism in the name of love. Disgusting.
Yes, but sometimes buying stuff is fun. And the stuff that you buy is adorable.
Retail therapy is a real thing.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, that's why we're telling people to go treat themselves.
It's true. Obviously, you should be financially responsible about it. But I highly believe you should go and find something nice to get yourself.
Yeah. But we went out to, what is it? Besties. And we got Dio some nice little dried bouquets. A little vase to put them in. So now that's like the centerpiece on Dio's living room table. Something cute and adorable. We also went to, I think it's called Plant over in Inglewood. Mm-hmm. And that store is just always so nice to walk through. Oh my God. It smells fresh. Like, walking into it smells like a forest where deer haven't just been pooping everywhere.
A deerless forest. Gotcha.
Yes, a deerless forest.
I know what smell you're talking about, and it's very lovely.
It is so nice. Like, you just open the door to the place, and you're like blasted with this fresh plant smell. And it's so pleasant, and you can just like walk around, see like there's succulents, there's cacti, there's tropical plants, there's everything. I think we spent like half an hour just looking at like flower pots. It was nice.
I would love if there was a cologne that smelled like that store.
Oh my God, that would be good.
Right?
One thing that frequently tempted me is back when I was growing basil plants. Every morning I would go over there and I would just like rustle the leaves and I would enjoy the smell. I would be so tempted to just take a couple leaves and like crush them up and just like dab them around my neck. I'm going to smell like basil today.
That is a lovely smell.
It's so good.
You would literally smell delicious.
Yes. Yes. Some people say that smelling like food is not ideal. But there are certain food smells where I disagree.
There have been days where I've come home from a barbecue and the smell of barbecue is just in my hair. Like I can't.
My God,
I will not be removing it until I take my next shower.
Yes. The campfires are the same for me.
The
Like
smell
getting
of
home from
bacon.
camping. Yeah. Yeah.
Or like being in a ramen place when the ramen place has like a giant pot of broth that's brewing in the back.
Oh.
That smell just like gets in my hair. And then I just smell like it for the rest of the day.
Interesting that you say that, because to end off our little Valentine's date, Dio and I went to Chicken Ramen on Center Street.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been.
Dio just found it about a week ago and thought it was so good that we had to go back. And quite frankly, it was wonderful. It was really nice.
Where was this?
Chicken Ramen on Center Street. I think
That
it's
is within
I thought it
walking
was
distance.
a product. I didn't know it was a
it's a place.
A
an actual
location?
establishment.
Yeah. Now, having that said, they do have their titular chicken ramen.
And?
It is tomato-based.
I love tomato base.
Yes. Tomato-based ramen is really weird. It is really unorthodox. And this was the first time that I've had it. Looking at their menu, I wanted to try everything because everything sounded so good. But the chicken ramen, the tomato-based ramen, is just something that I've never heard before. And so I had to try that. And so it was tomato with chicken and pork bone broth.
That sounds
It's where
delightful.
Boom
Boom used to be.
Yes. The sign for Boom Boom is actually still out front.
Yes, I'm very confused.
Okay.
Because like I knew I drove by there recently, and I was like, "Oh, there's Boom Boom," but no, it's this chicken. I see. Oh,
Yeah.
Chicken.
look at the little. Look at the. I'm
They
checking
have a
out the
little
menu.
mascot. They have a little
Yeah.
mascot called Pee-Pee.
Yeah, I just found that. That's exactly why I'm making squeaky noises. I'm looking at the menu, and there it is. Look.
ありがとうございます. Hi, my name is Pee-Pee. Oh god, it's so cute.
And so the chicken ramen,
Nancy, you
this
just
was
did
the
it. You
first
just did an
time.
unofficial ad read just there. As you just applied to be the mascot.
Hire me. I will shill for you.
Paid in soup.
Paid in soup. Man, imagine.
I mean,
I love soup.
There are. That's a pretty good way to take payment, I would say.
Soup is soup. I have a lot of friends that love soup. They have one of my friends has a shirt that I cannot name the contents of what it says here,
Damn it.
but it indicates that they like soup a lot.
Okay.
Fair enough. Something about that seems very suspicious.
I want to know. You'll have to tell us later.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just typed it into the Discord. Sorry, audience.
Yeah, we
you're not
can't
gonna
say
get
that on this show.
That is a shirt to wear if you are eating ramen on Valentine's Day.
Yep, that tracks.
Yes.
So-
It is
I
a
had
very
a very
sus
similar
sounding shirt.
weekend to Angelo and Dio. We went out and just had a little bit of walk-in retail therapy. Like, it's the one where you go to a really big mall and you enjoy the leisurely walk, but you can also have some retail therapy. And what we did was, instead of going out for like a big heavy meal, we tried a new poke bowl. There's a place in the food court that does poke bowls that we've never tried, despite seeing it a lot. And, trying to be a little bit better about health lately, because I've had some pretty bad health problems, which is why I was gone last week. I'm still recovering. And Sean's also had some very bad health problems. And so we're like, we should try this. It always looks really good, but we always pass it up for something greasy and fast foody, like classic fast food at a food court. So let's try one. And it was so good. They have this like really cool kelp noodle that's like crispy almost. Like, it is still a soft gelatinous noodle that is served cold, but it like has a crunch when you chew it. I love it. I love it. It's great. It soaks up all the sauces, which is amazing. Oh. Really, really recommend. That's probably my new like food court go-to now.
Was this in Chinook or?
Market.
Market. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Market Mall in a long time.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just like a really nice random find. I didn't end up buying anything. I bought myself like a nice linen coat the previous trip, so I didn't buy myself a whole new thing. I will just count the new linen coat as like my thing that I bought myself. That's going to be my go-to coat for the summer, because I've been wanting linen things for our summers ever since they started getting ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid.
And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get to wear it soon.
Nice. Linen is an underrated fabric.
It is. I love it.
It is.
It feels great.
My go-to place for poke for a long time now has been Pacific Poke in Martaloop. That place is absolutely great.
There's a place on Center near Chicken Ramen, I think, and it's called just Poke.
Oh, yeah.
They also do really good ones. We ordered some from them during like the height of pandemic shutdown, and it was really, really good.
It was similar to me for Pacific Poke. I'd always been like, I've never had this before, and we're ordering in a lot right now. Let's try it. And so like that was actually my first time ordering poke, and nowhere else has lived up to it since.
Yeah, I really liked the one I had on the weekend. Like, wow, I don't like kale.
I've always wondered, is it poke bowl or poke bowl?
Pretty sure it was poke.
It has an accent on the E.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Pokemon does, but I've never seen it written with the accent.
It's poke.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean you've never seen it's written without the accent?
But it also follows like it's a Hawaiian creation, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Hawaiian Japanese creation.
Okay. So poke does make grammatical linguistic sense then.
I think so. But I think a lot of places here actually have an
it's
accent
the
on it.
pronunciation.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it makes sense or not. It is the pronunciation.
Well, if you've only ever read words, then sometimes you don't get the proper pronunciation right?
That is true. And that is a shortcoming, a gap that I used to have with like a couple of the stranger English words, like cuckoo birds, or what was that other word?
When I first learned of the word choir, it was said to me first, and then I read, and then I was shown the word later, and it didn't make sense to me at first because I expected like it to start with a Q.
I know Bayfar and I used to joke about this, but quinoa was another one of those.
Quinoa.
Yeah.
Quinoa.
Yeah. English is fucking dumb. English is real stupid.
It's
needs
strange.
more it needs more accent usage is what it is. like words in Swedish and I think Dutch and some French, for example. Like, they have accents for a reason because it informs you of how to say it when you read it.
Now, having that said, I will take my barbaric accentless language just to make typing on a keyboard easier. Ain't no one want to remember all those alt codes.
I do wonder how that kind of goes.
That is one thing. That is one thing I will give Mac OS credit for. They make it very easy to type accents. Very easy.
Yeah. Same with like on a phone. Phones make accents super easy too.
Super easy. Yes.
It is specifically Windows and Linux computers that make it a pain in the butt. A big pain.
You gotta open your Character Explorer and then find the right one and copy it into your buffer and paste it. If you don't have one that has a Unicode code.
Oh, I always just like looked it up online and was like, what's the alt code for the accent aigu?
I do remember that one. It's 0233.
Yeah, but it depends on the
I don't
letter
know any
too,
of
right?
those. I know this.
Same. I only
That's
know
alt
plus
3.
3. Alt plus 3 on the number pad for the heart.
Yep.
Ah.
Also, 1 and 2 are smiley faces.
Yeah. I think 4, 5, and 6 are the other suits, like
Probably.
clubs, spades,
Like clubs and spades?
diamonds.
Yeah.
I think, but I'm not 100% certain.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't
That's
feel like
really
trying
indicative
that right
of
now.
what we were thinking about when we first started building this out as a technology, huh?
Oh, yeah. 100%. There are actually several old computer science stories that deal with sales of early computers and how blackjack games through the terminal were a really common sales tactic.
Wow.
And so that is why, like, suits of cards are a really common, like, ASCII-supported character.
That is not a story I'm familiar with, so that's cool. I learned something today.
The story of Mel, specifically, is something that every computer science person should know. The story of Mel. It's great.
I'm gonna go look that up later.
Yes. Ah. So it is the year of the dragon now.
It is the year of... I think it's the water dragon?
I thought it was the wood dragon.
I think in Korea it's the water dragon.
Oh.
I wonder what it is in Chinese.
So it's different depending on which country. I didn't realize that.
Only 3 countries really celebrate Chinese New Year's.
Here.
I call
Yeah.
it Chinese New
Lunar
Year's
New Year.
because
Well, you're Chinese.
I'm Chinese,
It's valid.
and it's not because I don't want to share the holiday. It's because I grew up in a time when Lunar New Year's was never called Lunar New Year's up until probably about, I don't know, maybe
I never
under
heard the
10
term.
years ago.
I never heard the term Lunar New Year's until I think 2017 or 2018. Like, I think the first
Interestingly enough,
Overwatch
it's not even a
event-
lunar calendar. It's
Oh, really?
actually a lunisolar calendar. It's messed up.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a lunar calendar. It's mostly lunar, but then there's a
Lunar?
bunch of extra lunar with like a bunch of extra days added in. Sometimes there's a 13th month to like pad out for days for reasons.
All right. I mean,
Yeah, I don't pretend to understand.
I can't remember. We're not on the Julian calendar. Are we on to like a version of the Gregorian calendar? But it has
I
a
think
whole
it's the
lot of
Gregorian.
BS.
It is.
And it's
Pretty
just
sure it's...
it's things that are made up to make the calendar apply to reality. Like the entire concept of leap years, which we're currently in one, because a single year isn't 365
believe
days,
in the
it's
leap
365
year.
and a quarter.
You're
Except
in
it's
one.
not 365 and a quarter because they had to remove the leap year on every year that is divisible by 4 or 100. No, not
Jay is
divisible
right.
by 4. Divisible
Jay-
by 100 or something else. I can't remember what it is. There's
So
two
Jay
rules.
is right. It is the year of the wood dragon
Yeah.
in the Chinese zodiac. I don't know. Yeah, so I saw in a random email from a Korean company that it was the year of the blue dragon, the water dragon, in Korea.
Okay.
But yeah.
there's a lot of yeah, we talked about like really briefly where I feel like there's been a lot of marketing this year of like the Lunar New Year in terms of there's a lot more products I think I've seen that are not like from companies that are not particularly affiliated with like Asian culture. I think it's mostly because it's a dragon year. Like, again, they're not bringing out this fanfare for rats.
I feel called out.
Rats, we are the rats.
I just feel like it doesn't happen for, you know, most of the other animals. No one really cares that much about pig. They don't care about the rat out there. They don't care about, no, people like dogs.
Yeah, but it's not, it doesn't get a fanfare.
No.
It gets like oh, that's cute.
But also, like, dragon is ancient Asian symbolism and mysticism, and there's also the dragon dance, and I don't know. I think there's a lot of capitalism.
Oh, 100%.
This year.
At play. Marketing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They don't. As a horse, I don't feel like they do a lot for horses.
Oh my gosh. We were trying to name all 12 of them yesterday, and I think horse was one of the ones I forgot.
Oh, fair.
Wow.
I actually was like, I'm missing one, and I don't know which one it is. Oh,
So-
shoot.
But Nancy,
I would
your
not be able
rat?
to name all 12.
Yeah. So rat, ox, hare.
No.
rooster,
I wasn't gonna go through
dog.
that. I was gonna say, so you're rat, I'm horse. Where's Angelo?
Oh, I'm a dragon. I was born in 88.
Oh, you're
Dragon.
you're a dragon. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Boar, monkey,
If
snake.
I remember right, 88 was also a wood dragon year. So, like, this is my year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you're turning 36.
Yeah. I was born in December of 88.
Yeah.
I thought we were
don't
still
know.
rotating through the elements then.
Yeah, because you have to go. There's 5 elements.
Oh,
There's
okay.
5 elements. So it'll be another 5, like, you know,
No, yeah,
5
no,
of the
I-
same
yeah,
animal
I-
before
I'm
it's
not
the
old
same one
enough
as
then.
you.
I'm not old
Yeah.
enough then.
No.
What are the
Well,
5
don't worry,
elements
we'll
then?
be ancient in no time.
Wood, water,
Metal.
fire, metal. Okay, I wouldn't
Metal.
have guessed that one.
Yeah, wood, metal, fire, water, air.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I don't recall all of my elements and my secondary animals.
Me neither.
Well,
I know
every
that,
now and then,
like,
there's I don't really understand how it works because the couple years ago was Year of the Rooster, and I think instead of the rooster, it was like owl symbolism that I saw everywhere.
I don't know. I don't know all that.
Yeah,
I-
I don't
I
pretend
honestly-
to
I'm
understand
not-
it. I
I'm
just
not-
go along with it. It's fun.
Just like most things rooted in tradition or superstition, I'm interested in the knowledge. I don't care for the practice.
At the risk of offending entire cultures and countries. For me, it's about as relevant as a drunk blonde girl at a bar talking about, like, Virgos or Capricorns or whatever. I don't pretend to understand it, and I don't put that much faith in it. I just think it's fun.
I agree that it can be fun up until a point where it becomes harmful. Like, it becomes
yeah, a
detrimental
lot of people take
to
it
your...
way too seriously.
Yeah. Look, I found a website. Here you go. I don't know if it's accurate. It just says Chinese zodiac sign calculator. You plug in your date of birth. I'm not going to tell you what my date of birth is, but I am
Yay.
a horse, and I am a metal horse.
A metal horse.
So
that does tell you what year you were likely born in.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dragon, and the associated element is Yang Earth. Wait, so do the elements also go like yin versus yang?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going
There's
on.
a lot.
This reminds me of, like, the time that I found out Western astrology also has, like, planets associated and whether they're rising or waning or some other BS. Like, I legitimately have no idea. People say these words and I'm like, I understand what all those words mean, like Venus rising. Those words make sense, but I don't know what they mean. This context of speech is alien to me.
I feel similarly. There's a whole lot of stock that I never put into being a Libra. People keep telling me, oh, you're even-tempered and you're very just. And you're like, oh, okay, I have a good moral compass. Cool.
Yeah.
And then that was my entire takeaway. Like the rest of everything that was said just like got lost to me because I didn't understand. And then, of course, anytime retrograde comes up and I'm like, I don't know what this means.
Oh, I don't even know what that word means in regular
I know
parlance.
what retrograde motion is in terms of physics and like visual, like the visual illusion that it causes. I know what it is. I don't know what it means in terms of this specific topic.
That reminds me that I don't know jack about Western astrology and the whole retrograde thing that much, and I don't know if this is true. This is like one reading that I saw once on the internet. So I trust it to the fullest because why not? They're trusting astrology readings. Why can't I trust this random anecdote? Something about I'm not very practiced in my astronomy anymore, where I don't really know all the positions of planets and constellations anymore like I used to. But someone pointed out that like there's always this thing where people are like, Mercury is in retrograde. And there's something about Mercury's rotation that actually places it mostly in retrograde. That it's like it's not uncommon for it to be in retrograde. So it'd be, to say that it's in retrograde is like saying like most of the time it's doing the thing that it always is doing. So nothing has changed for you.
Yes. Fair.
So, Angelo, for context, in retrograde, when you track the motion of a planet like Venus, for example, like across the sky every night, you kind of expect it to just kind of go like in an arc over the sky, and that's kind of it.
Just
but
like the
because
moon
we're
might.
all rotating around each other, they actually take a path that looks like it's doing a loopy-loop, and the
like a
loopy-loop is
figure
called
eight.
retrograde.
Okay.
But that's because we're all rotating around the sun, right?
Yeah.
Like that makes sense when you
Yes.
think about it that way. But like I know
It's a very
physically-
Earth-centric way of viewing something, when the truth
Yes.
is it's actually rotating against a much larger body and being affected by that gravity, not Earth.
Yes.
Was astrology developed at a time where the geocentric model was still like the primary way of thinking about the solar
Probably.
system?
Maybe.
Was this
I
all
don't know.
developed before people realized the Earth revolved around the sun?
I mean,
When you think about the fact that the planets were all named after gods,
I don't
that
know.
probably plays
Maybe.
into a lot of astrology too.
But I for one, am done talking about things that I barely understand. I want to massage into your scalps something that I'm a little bit more familiar with. So RGB strips are really cool, right? They're very gamer,
Sure.
very bright.
Sure. Okay.
You can buy RGB anything online, and it'll have either two things. It'll have either a remote control or an app or something like that you control with. Usually just a junky remote control, or sometimes like a barely supported app that hasn't been updated in 5 years and no longer supports your version of Android or something, right?
I have the junky remote control, yes.
I hate both of those.
Yes, I do too.
They're so bad. And so I decided to do something about it. I decided to buy an RGB strip and put a web server on it.
Huh?
Yes. Yes. So I have been in microcontroller hell for a couple months now. I've been playing around with like the Pi Pico for a long time, and it's really cool. I hecked around with an Arduino back in January, and it was really neat. I hate C++, but it was really neat. And so after doing a little bit more research into it, I found out that a very specific type of what I thought was a specific type of hardware, the Adafruit NeoPixel, where it is an RGB LED. It turns out basically every single addressable RGB strip uses the exact same chip that it uses. So the exact same control library works for almost all addressable RGBs. And that just gave me a ton of ideas. So I bought myself a Pi Pico, I soldered an RGB strip to it, and I've been hecking around with it to put it on a website. So I have... I need to rearrange my thoughts. I have it so that when this is plugged in, immediately a web page is available on your local Wi-Fi. You can control it from your computer. You can control it from your phone. You can do whatever you want. And then you can immediately set like the color mode, the way that the lights work, whether they're just all on or whether they're just like...
So you basically made a
flashing.
web-based universal controller for an LED, for a RGB strip, is it?
Yes,
correct?
and it's fantastic.
Okay.
It's
like
really
that.
garbage right now,
The,
but I want to keep working on it because it's so fun.
the application sounds like very reasonable. I also have like one of those floating, levitating moon.
Oh yeah, I remember
things.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it has one of those controllers, and I don't care much for the controller either.
Yeah, the controller is not, like, it's not sensical. It's like, you have so many patterns you can go through, but if you keep hitting the same button, it also just affects the colors as well. And then if you want to go back to the previous setting, there's like no easy way for you to cycle back to it. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah. And
Don't understand what they thought they were doing.
it just, a lot of the ones that are on the market, like you can get a really good RGB strip with the power supply and the remote and everything for like $20. They're cheap. So far, I have spent $45 or $50 on everything that I've been working on so far.
Not counting your time, right?
And not counting my time. I've probably put like 30 or 40 hours into it so far, just programming it and fucking around with it. But it's so fun. And I was showing Dio the other day, and even Dio was like, holy cow, this is really good. And so the kind of projects that I want to work on with this, I almost want to replace my grow lights with it. I just want to have like a one button grow light and an RGB strip. So it'll blast some white along with some red and some blue lights down at whatever plants you mounted above. I want to have it so it's like, oh, Christmas lights. You could just, with one tap, have Christmas lights wherever this RGB strip is. That would be really cool.
Don't you need UV lights for your plants?
Yes and no. So RGB strips aren't ideal for plants. They're not perfect. But the wavelengths that plants do thrive on, like the red wavelengths, certain elements of the blue wavelengths, those are in RGB LEDs. You can absolutely do that. And quite frankly, like white light is all the wavelengths. So they will absorb some of that. People say that, oh, you need the full spectrum LEDs, or you need the specific spectrum LEDs. The difference there, to be fair, those are better because they are putting more of the energy at the specific wavelengths that plants like. An RGB strip can be the plant wavelengths, maybe not perfect, but close enough. And then 20 minutes later, when you don't need those anymore, it can be cool unicorn vomit. Just have all the rainbows going over your plants.
Jeez. Gamer plants go.
Yeah. So one idea that I've had for a long time is having a little IoT garden streamed 24 hours a day on Twitch. And so having an RGB strip that can be controlled via the internet is something that would be so cool, because then when somebody donates like bits or subscriptions or something, the lights could go fucking crazy. It would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cute.
That'd be great.
You could also smush a whole bunch of those VODs together into like a time-elapsed video of what your plants did over like a month or a year.
Yeah. It would be great. And like, imagine if I did that with my strawberry plants, because strawberry plants, as I've noticed, drink all of the water. It is almost impossible to overwater these things. They are pretty resilient otherwise. Like, the only way I've managed to kill them so far is by underwatering them, by forgetting to water them for like a day. And so those might be like almost ideal for this like Twitch grows plants sort of idea that I have.
Sure.
Yeah.
It could be fun.
Another idea that I've had was like having a VTuber model for the plants, where like how moist they are, or they could look sleepy if the lights are off or something like that. That'd be cool. That'd be cute, I think.
I was thinking the same thing, like have a little VTuber model of like a plant girl or a plant boy, and has various moods depending on how your plants are doing.
Yes. And just imagine if for some reason chat overwatered the plants, if the VTuber model was suddenly like either soaking wet like they just got rained on, or maybe if they were like staggering drunk. That'd be hilarious.
Staggering drunk. Post-fertilization session is probably they're going to look kind of full.
Yeah, like
doing
they
a bit of a Snorlax.
Yes. Oh my god, that'd be adorable.
Yes. Yes, it would be.
Oh my god.
Well, I know what we're working on this year.
That would be fantastic. Just have like lo-fi girl music going in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it'd be perfect.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like that would be far cozier.
Every time I come up with this idea, it just makes me want to do it more. Like, why haven't I actively been working on this?
And now you can.
Yeah. I should.
You will. You will.
Now, my RGB lights and plant waifu ideas aside, there is the IRL waifu that has been becoming more and more controversial over the next coming days. Taylor Swift has been in the news a lot lately for many different reasons. I think on the surface, the most absurd reason is that some people in the US are under the impression that Taylor Swift is rigging the Super Bowl to make young people vote for Democrats for some reason. I don't follow the logic on this.
That sounds like some conspiracy crafting right there.
1000%. Like, some people are absolutely insane.
I mean, obsession with any public figure is a little, it gets over the top. We've seen a lot of, it doesn't matter which branch of the fandom tree that you might be on, is that whenever people, kind of take it too far, they really do take it too far. Taylor Swift will be no exception at this point. People do some really creepy stuff. Oh yeah. They break into her house. They track her movements. They
make AI models of her doing very unsavory things.
Ooh. I also heard in Australia they changed when the final summative exams would be for a given class date, just so that they wouldn't have to choose between Taylor Swift and taking their exams.
Interesting. She's currently, I believe, so today, we're recording on Sunday before this episode releases. It's actually Super Bowl Sunday. And if anyone knows anything, yeah. And a superb owl. If anybody knows anything about what's going on for the Super Bowl, which I believe this anime convention podcast, all of our listeners should know that Taylor Swift is she's been dating one of the players on one of the Super Bowl teams.
Is that why she's connected to the Super Bowl? I thought she was doing like a halftime show at first, but that's wrong. She's not.
She's not.
I was like,
the person who's
what
doing
connection is it?
I think
and
Usher
so she's dating
is
someone.
the one doing the halftime show. She's but she's currently on tour, from what I understand, and she is currently flying back from Japan. She's probably in the air right now.
Wow,
to come
she
back
went to
in
Japan.
time
What a
to watch
weeaboo.
her boyfriend's Super Bowl, be in attendance for her boyfriend's Super Bowl game.
I see.
Yeah,
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I don't know why anyone needs to be interested in that, but that's what the internet has blasted in my face.
Thanks, Jay, for re-blasting it to us.
Yeah,
I didn't need to know that, and I've promptly forgotten about it. But
That's like
it
the
is,
third new thing I've learned on this podcast today.
we're very
it is
informative.
a little bit
Very.
distressing that people are tracking her movements so much to the point where ya girl has gone and sued a dude who was tracking her flight. Except he wasn't tracking her flight. He was posting publicly available flight tracking information. This is the exact same guy, because this might sound familiar. The exact same guy who was doing the exact same thing to Elon Musk. And
Ew.
this information has shown some kind of startling things. Like, it came to light on February 9th that Taylor Swift used their private jet for a 28-mile flight. A 30-minute drive. Something that could have been a 30-minute drive. Your girl boarded the private jet for.
Mm-hmm.
We did the math.
Angelo, you mentioned this, prior to podcast, so I wanted to do some visualization, essentially.
Yes, comparative.
Yeah, and for our fellow Calgarian listeners, sorry everybody else, that is the distance, that flight distance was flying from approximately Balzac,
Like, think Cross Iron Mills Mall, just north of Calgary.
all the way down to the south of Calgary to the South Health campus.
Yeah.
That's basically it. That was the flight. Imagine boarding a plane for that.
Of course.
I calculated this through Google Maps, so obviously it's not straight line. It's like taking a road. In this case, it was Deerfoot. And driving Deerfoot all that way only takes less than half an hour in current conditions.
Yeah. It is absurd. I cannot think of very many circumstances where a flight of that nature would be reasonable. The only thing that I can think of, and quite frankly, your mention of the South Health campus specifically made me think of this. Let's say someone had a heart attack in Cross Iron Mills, and it was rush hour, so ambulances were going to get backed up on Deerfoot. Would it be reasonable to use a helicopter to go from Cross Iron Mills to one of the hospitals? Maybe.
I mean, STARS exist.
STARS is a thing.
The air ambulance that we have here.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Taylor Swift doesn't work for STARS, do they?
She is a star, though.
She is a star.
Wow, the link.
I think we've
found
all
it.
put it together. I think we've all put it together.
We've solved it.
There's
That
something
billionaire's carbon footprint is no longer an issue.
Yeah. I also know another random trivia tidbit because I've read this before. Interestingly enough, and I don't know why you couldn't take the sea route. I assume that you could, but the shortest commercial flight in the world, regularly operated, is a 1.5 minute flight. The flight time is about 1 minute. It's I think somewhere in Scotland, and basically it just hops between two islands one called Westray and the other one called Papa Westray. And they fly this route daily. It is 1.7 miles or 2.7 kilometers. And it happens every day pretty much except for on weekends.
Wow.
I don't know why you can't do the
Like
Maybe
the
the
by
sea route.
seas in
ferry?
that area. Maybe the seas in that area are just really choppy.
Or maybe there's a
something
lot
like
of
that.
coral that they can't like break up or disturb, or I don't know.
Or maybe people
They
don't
have
want to
coral in
turn
Scotland?
the minute 45 into like half an hour. I don't know.
On the
Yeah, I don't know,
Wikipedia,
that's-
the passengers, like there's actually a passengers portion that says many students and their teachers take these flights to study the 60 archaeological sites on Papa Westray, making up the majority of passengers. Occasionally, health professionals are needed to assist one of the island's 90 residents, and patients will also take the flight from Papa Westray to medical facilities when needed. The flight
Okay,
has also become
archaeology is
popular-
cool.
Yeah, the flight is also popular among tourists. I'm
Wow.
like, okay.
Okay,
Sure.
that's cool. But like, okay, question to the tracking and like the publicly available data. These are just flights of specific machines, right? Like they are this registered plane or jet or whatever it is, this registered aircraft is logged as having taken a flight from here to here
Yes.
on a whatever day time. That doesn't mean that specific people are on it, right?
No, it doesn't. It just means that that plane flew. So take, for example, that 28-mile flight that Taylor Swift had. Was Taylor Swift on that flight? Right now it is assumed that yes, they were. But it is entirely possible that maybe the jet was going from an airport to a maintenance place. Could be. Maybe. Who knows? Either way, it is something to get irrationally angry about. How dare this billionaire? How dare this billionaire pollute our airways for simply flying somewhere
20
they could have driven?
20. Yeah. Okay, so how else would you transport a plane if you weren't to fly it across the length of the city?
No, that is absolutely a thing. To my understanding, most maintenance facilities are like at airports because
Yeah.
of course they are. But
Yeah.
there are situations where like there's smaller airports specifically for like plane maintenance.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
100%.
I'm being the logical one and poking holes into this unreasonable outrage that I know everyone's enjoying.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I do that. I know.
But this week isn't a week for outrage. This week, treat that special someone, even if that is you.
Yeah. Treat yourself.
You're special.
Or a friend. Or a loved person.
Or a dog. They're special too. Get
Not
your
cats.
dog.
Get out.
No,
No.
cats are special too.
Cats are wonderful.
here.
Don't you dare.
Yesterday I saw a YouTube video of a fat cat and it was wonderful.
I think I saw the same one. It was so cute.
I didn't see
So
it.
cute.
I don't feel loved. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you next week.